On today's town hall, the pandemic greatly impacting professional sports. So we've been following the breaking news. Bills wide receiver Cole Beasley placed on the COVID-19 list late this afternoon.
NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says Beasley remains unvaccinated and in fact tested positive. That means he will miss this Sunday's game against the Patriots. It's a game that will likely determine who wins the division. More on that in just a moment.
Meanwhile, the NHL is now taking a bit of a break to try to slow down the spread of COVID cases among players. That includes the Sabres, who just added Jeff Skinner and Zemgus Girgensons to its COVID list.
3 games scheduled for the Sabres this week are all getting postponed. Players won't report back until this Sunday. As of now, Buffalo is set to return to the ice for a game on Monday night at home against the Islanders.
And Sabres GM Kevyn Adams took questions during a virtual news conference this afternoon. Our Julianne Pelusi got to ask him if having his whole team being vaccinated brings any sort of relief.
How relieved are you that you guys didn't have to go through a vaccination issue? You didn't have to push, and from the jump, you guys have been 100% vaccinated for your team to protect themselves.
Well, it does give you some peace of mind, honestly, because, you just look around the world and you see, vaccination rates, and obviously everybody's different, but people that are vaccinated just generally tend to be, less sick if they do get COVID. So it does give you some peace of mind. I'm proud of our players and staff across, here and in Rochester, and, how, serious they've taken this, and, wanting to not just protect yourself, but each other.
And let's bring in Julianne now. Before we talk, Julianne, about Beasley and the Bills, you got the chance to ask Kevyn Adams a bunch of questions today as the Sabres navigate all these constant changes.
Yeah, Kate, it's been tough. The Sabres had a massive COVID outbreak last year, and soon after that, they went on an 18-game winless streak. The guys, they couldn't catch their breath. A lot of them, it just started a downfall that ended with head coach Ralph Krueger getting fired and some players just not being able to get their game back after having the virus. I also asked Kevyn Adams today, what did they learn from what happened last year to prepare for this season in case another outbreak happened?
I don't know if you ever can totally prepare. You're kind of like, you're just kind of, every day you get up and you see what the day brings. Especially in my role, it's no 2 days are the same, and you kind of adjust and react with what you're dealing with in that time. And that's the way the whole world's dealing with it right now, though.
Everything's still so uncertain with the virus, and you can't blame Kevyn Adams for his answer. What can you do at this point? Right now, they're set to return to play Monday against the New York Islanders. And honestly, Kate and Michael, it could take longer than that.
Yeah, and we know now it's probably going to impact the Olympics with players not going overseas for that. Let's turn right now, though, and talk about Cole Beasley and the Bills. First off, we wish Cole well.
Of course.
We hope that he's fortunate enough to have one of these cases where he's either asymptomatic or has just mild symptoms. But Ian Rappaport says he is still unvaccinated, which certainly puts him more at risk. And Julianne, when you're unvaccinated, the rules are very different for you in terms of what the NFL is doing right now.
They're so different, and Cole Beasley complained about that this summer and said he was hearing from younger players who had to deal with maybe being cut because of it. But his return is at a 10-day minimum right now because of the NFL rules. Cole Beasley, again, said that the NFL was dealing out a disadvantaged hand to unvaccinated players heading into this season. And when he tested positive today for the second time, he's feeling the ramifications of the NFL's COVID policies. He was also held out of practices this summer when he was in close contact with a trainer who tested positive for the virus. And Michael, they are going to miss him against New England.
Yeah.
So, Julianne, let's talk about the impact that this could all have on the Bills with the biggest game of the season now coming up this Sunday on the road, taking on the Patriots with that division title on the line.
Yeah, Kate, this is going to be really tough. This is going to be a problem for the Bills. We've been wondering when their vaccination rate, which is one of the lowest in the league with the Colts and the Vikings, was going to come around to bite them because of these NFL protocols, which are very different. So far, they're kind of changing things now, but so far they've been very different for vaccinated and unvaccinated players. So Beasley, he's a veteran receiver who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. Bill Belichick, the head coach of the New England Patriots, always takes away a team's top target. That's Stephon Diggs. Gabriel Davis is emerging, but Belichick knows that. He's going to find a way to shut him down too. So this man is a master of game plans. Losing Beasley, you're losing a one-on-one battle to move the ball against New England. This is a huge loss that they are not going to have Cole Beasley on Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We should also mention, it's interesting, John Feliciano, who is also on the COVID list right now, actually tweeted earlier today that he's vaccinated, but he ended up in the ER on Sunday morning. And then tweeted a little bit after that saying that he went and got monoclonal antibodies. So that's another player that you're kind of keeping an eye on, but certainly big changes in professional sports right now because of all the COVID issues. Julianne Pelusi, thanks for joining us. We'll look for more coming up at 6 in sports.
Of course.
Thanks, Julianne, and thanks everybody for joining us. Here is our text line, 716-849-2220. That's how you get your questions and comments straight to us.
Channel 2 News at 6 with Scott and Mary Ellis is coming up next.